So now we're going to see what those bozos over at NFL.com think. 2022 NFL win total projections. NFC, Bucks, Rams, Packers lead conference. Eagles dethrone Cowboys.
It's like Dallas is
Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
So one, Cynthia Freeland, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth before you get fired from NFL.com. Because one, that is not happening. And two, well, let's see what she gave us. Crack him if you got him, kid.
Crack him if you got him.
So they're saying Tampa Bay. I'm just gonna cruise down right to the boys here. Let's see what So she's saying the Eagles are dethroning the Cowboys with 9.8 wins. So what the hell is
10 wins?
So well, yeah, technically, but 9.8 is 9.6. So technically, if math is math, you're actually rounding up. So I need to know who has the divisional or that does show win. There's no way we have less than 10 wins. Sorry, I'm saying it.
And yeah, Cynthia's letting her analytics get in the way of her decision making because what she saw is that 74% of people hate the Dallas Cowboys. So she's like,
clickbait.
I'm going to write an article. Yeah, because you either get all the Cowboys fans, which is a large volume of people, or you can shit on them and get everyone else who watches football, no matter what team they are, they will probably 9 times out of 10 say, "Oh, I hate the Dallas Cowboys."
Well, and that's with saying that in Vegas, you could see people playing to the crowd with that.
Man, every
person
time,
announcing.
Every single time someone would say Dallas, though, or
yeah,
Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? It would be
no, but yeah, they would either, like Alex was saying, they'd either be on the Cowboys bandwagon or they would be someone like, oh yeah, get a load of all these Cowboys fans here, and then everyone would be like, boo, and then Adam would almost get bottled, and I'd have to dive over a table to protect his pretty face. Didn't happen every time, but 66% of the time it happened every time. So I'm gonna read what Cynthia Freeland had to say. The Cowboys have a pretty nightmarish start to the season, which we did say, hosting the Bucks and Bengals over the first 2 weeks. The game I have circled on the schedule, however, is Week 10's trip to Lambeau. Dallas immediately follows up its Week 9 bye with a homecoming of sorts for Coach Mike McCarthy, who faces his old team and quarterback for the first time since joining the Cowboys. I don't think that game's like as scary as everybody else thinks it is.
But she didn't really like. Oh, I get. Okay, sorry. She's referencing that it is going to be a nightmare of a game.
Okay, so then give me this. You can't. The media can't have this narrative that the Cowboys have a shitty start to the season and then we have an easy schedule. Which one is it? Pick one or the other. Pick one or the other, right?
Say it one more time.
Well, you get this
again. I wasn't listening. I was reading this again.
You get this narrative that the Cowboys have an easy schedule. Yeah. Yet her main reason for the Cowboys not winning the division again is because they have a shitty start to the season. So what is it? You got to pick one or the other. And I'm gonna watch for her future articles so that I can do nothing about it.
I don't think it's that. I mean, it's been long enough that it shouldn't be scary for Mike McCarthy. And honestly, it's not the same team.
Not even close to the same team.
Not even the same team.
No Devontae Adams.
No Devontae Adams. Like honestly, that's why I was saying it's too hard to say right now that Week 10 is going to be. You need to see how the teams are progressing in at least the first 5 games.
Yeah, I agree.
I think this.
Mm-hmm. No, you go ahead. You fucking were cutting me off, you fucking asshole.
Did it?
Sorry, I didn't mean to say
I planned it.
You said, I was going to say, what's the Packers games leading up to that? How's their season?
Don't care about the Packers, so I haven't even looked.
Exactly. So who gives a shit?
This is what I was...
TBH?
Like...
Tell me.
Which... we're past it now, Ed. But what do you remember what team was on the top?
Yeah, we can go right back. Look this. We ain't past it, son. We're right back at it. So we got Bucks, Bengals.
No, on that list, on Cynthia's list.
Oh, it was
on Cynthia's hot guy list.
It was the Bucks. It just went by.
Number 1.
The Bucks went. Los Angeles Rams. Oh no, so it was the Bucks, but I don't think it's in order because you got 11.7 there, and then so it is. So the Bucks, the Rams, the Green Bay Packers.
How the fuck do you have Green Bay number 3? Like Green Bay, all Green Bay did was downgrade from last year.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny about this though? The Cowboys literally play every one of these teams.
Yeah.
So how is our schedule considered easy?
I know.
Drives me nuts.
You know why? Because they have that whole
And then
schedule ranking is based off of last year's win-loss percentages or whatever.
And that's what
100%.
Yeah, a sports app 2.0 made a good point.
I see what you did there.
He was saying that he feels that when the Eagles are going to take the division, he feels like it's basing it too much off of last season,
100%,
or the latter half of Eagles season.
And I hate defending the She-Gulls. look how smart I am.
That's
said
like those,
She-Gulls.
it's like if you haven't checked out the video that we posted today, Anth versus some Niner fans. It's like they could only hit us back. They could only attack us by saying "a" the whole fucking time. That's like people saying cowgirls,
which I don't really say "a" that much. But the same thing with
technically, you probably wouldn't know because we're Canadian.
True, but saying the She-Girls, I'll just never say it. Like I'd rather just call them
shitty Eagles.
Shitty, I don't know.
Shitty Eagles.
I just have to call.
Am I right? Look at these guys.
So the next article we got here is the NFL schedules gave the Cowboys a possible advantage in extra time rest for games. It's almost like they want Dallas to do well. So this obviously is SB Nation, and it's actually Tom Ryle, and he's with Blogging the Boys. So he is a Cowboys fan. So he is biased, and he's still saying that possibly we got an edge. The reason he says that is the days after the release of the NFL schedule has traditionally been a time for Dallas Cowboys fans to bemoan the inequities that inflict on their team. There was a stretch around Thanksgiving they have faced for several years when they have been scheduled to play consecutive Thursdays as a sop to Thursday.
Too many big words. Too many big words.
I know. And what is this? Listen to the article. Is it like it's like a speech to text? Can you hit that play for a second?
Yeah, let's do it. Are we listening?
NFL schedulers gave the Cowboys a possible advantage in time to rest. Blogging the Boys.
Wait a second here. That's not the actual guy, right?
I don't know.
There's no fucking way that's the actual dude.
Just play it for a sec.
And then
This is him reading it.
Watch The Kids in the Hall. Only on Prime Video.
We got
the iconic sketch comedy
it's 'cause you
series
paused
The
it.
Kids in the Hall returns with the
God
full
damn it.
original
Actually, how do you
cast for a
hang
new
on?
season.
Let it play.
You gotta
How
play.
With the original champions of the Misfits.
How do you
Mark
feel about
McKinney,
that, Alex?
Bruce
That
McCullough, Dave Foley, Kevin McDonald,
Alex was
and
a
Scott Thompson for some
big
hilarious
Kids in the Hall
fun.
fan.
I didn't even know they were doing this. I'm kind of excited for it. It's probably it's gonna suck.
It's
not gonna be
on
good.
Prime. It's on
Watch
Prime.
The Kids in the Hall. Only on Prime
Is it good?
Video.
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, let's hear this robot fuck.
The days after the release of the NFL schedule has traditionally been a time for Dallas Cowboys fans to bemoan the inequities inflicted on
That's
their
generated.
team. There was the stretch around Thanksgiving they have faced for
Or it's
several years when
transcribed.
they have been scheduled to play consecutive Thursdays as a sop to Thursday night
As a
football,
sup.
awkward placement of the
As
bye
a
week,
sup.
and going into games with less rest than their
We
opponents.
need to figure out if this is a real person or if this is some
2022
sort
is
of robot.
different.
It's a robot.
That TNF game has been separated from the Thanksgiving one. The bye is in a
Sack
good
spot.
place.
Okay, I gotta pause that because I'm about to fucking shoot myself in the face. That is just terrible.
Podcast host commits suicide.
Listening
on
to
camera,
listening to robot.
An
Yeah, we're
AI.
trying to boost our audio numbers, and we just fucking got banned from Spotify for that.
Sports app is saying it's TTS, which is talk to speech or whatever.
Yeah, so all they're saying, I'll break it down in Cowboys CanFan. I'm going to go no huddle on this one. And I'm one of those Cowboys fans that has looked at the schedule and then bemoaned, like this guy said, that we would have that section where we had Thanksgiving and then we had also Thursday night football. So you'd get a shorter rest a couple times the year. Like there was times we'd have multiple weeks that we only had 5 days rest.
Right.
And that does affect a team. And when other teams are getting 7 or 8 days rest.
Yep.
So I can see where he's going with this article. And obviously this year they gave us a second Thursday night game, which has been separated from the Thanksgiving Day one, which is kind of like, it kind of gives us a mini bye.
Right.
So
Hey, here's a question. Here's a question for you. How do you think it would be to be a fucking NFL scheduler? You know,
what do you think it'd be
you
like?
have to.
Well, I think
Yeah,
it'd be
like-
fun because if you're sitting there and you're like, okay, hey, I'm gonna get the Broncos to play in Seattle this year, opening game.
But
Well,
you'd have to be a
dude,
betting man.
that's
You'd have to be a betting man. And you'd have to totally set
What-
it up yourself.
totally. I mean, you're probably actually banned from betting if you're ever involved in
Hey.
stuff like this. I'm
Hey,
sure.
everything in life is
But-
dangerous a little bit.
That's right. I think it's like they absolutely have to adjust that shit for like to put like Denver and Seattle. That wasn't set up pre.
Well, Sports Apps is saying it's an algorithm, so no one person does.
You know, actually, his last name's Algorithm, the guy that does it.
Hi, I'm Johnny Algorithm, and I'm going to come up with the NFL schedule.
This fucking algorithm.
I get it all the time. My last name's Algorithm. Okay.
So I know every time someone says like you got to play to the algorithm, they think it's playing to Johnny Algorithm.
They're not wrong.
So
can I buy you a drink?
Science.
What's this Seattle-Denver one that we're talking about?
So the Broncos are playing in Seattle opening game this year.
Not opening night.
No, like the first game of each of their schedule is in Seattle. Broncos.
Week 1.
Yeah, week 1. Broncos in Seattle.
Why is that bad?
Russell Wilson's on the Broncos.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I thought
that's what I mean. Like it's bad. I'm just saying.
No, it's kind of that makes me think that it's not an algorithm, or Johnny Algorithm is just he's sadistic.
I think what they do is they let an algo create the schedule, and then Johnny Algo goes in after and manipulates them and makes some changes.
See, that's probably because obviously they go division wise. So like the NFC East will play against.
Sure.
They'll have a couple teams from I believe this year it's the AFC. I want to say North because the Bengals are on it. I don't really know which one it is, so I'm just kind of making this up as I go.
But that's
what they do.
He's checking it twice.
They'll obviously play the NFC East, and then they'll have another NFC division, and then an AFC division, and that's how they kind of split up the games. So I could see as an algorithm, but then there's no you can't tell me that they're not trying to find like they're deciding who plays primetime games. They're kind of picking from this year or at this time of the year what's going to be the highest ranked game or rating game. Like they obviously looked at Tampa. They obviously looked at They obviously looked at Tampa and the Cowboys last year and saw the ratings and were like, okay, we got to get them prime time again. So they're going Sunday night.
It's not. I mean, this is what we should look into, and maybe one of maybe Alex or. You know what? Who cares? We'll look at it next time. But
I'll do it.
Look right now. How does the NFL? So they probably started, but then like the Monday night games, they're not gonna leave that up to an algorithm. I can't see that. I can't see that happening.
How does the NFL pick primetime games? How does the NFL choose primetime games?
Johnny Algorithm.
Yeah, Johnny Algo. So the league's 6 broadcast partners, CBS, Fox, NBC, NFL Network, and ESPN, and Prime Video, all want each week's best matchup to air on their networks so they can attract the largest audiences. Well, that's
hey, guess what?
Feel like an answer.
That's correct, Johnny.